Realized that I had no sound. Welcome, everyone. I am Reverend Patrick. I'm going to give people time to find their seat. The energy in the room is absolutely beautiful. I see a lot of new faces, which is really wonderful. We have a wonderful celebration planned for today. But before we do that, each week we like to give our announcements, things that are happening in the center and things like that. And we have a wonderfully new island reporter that we know that Michelle goes all around. If you ever want to know anything that's going on, not just here, she will let you know every moment. I just got one yesterday that the Tahitian dancers were dancing, come now, and today they are. So we don't have really the time to do all of the island, but we do have the time to announce Michelle up here to do the CSL Kauai announcements. Welcome, Michelle Lemay.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Ooh, it's nice to see everybody all smiling, and it's true the energy was really just exploding this morning. We have so many things that we have going on at CSL. Everything is listed also on the back of your program, and that's multifaceted, so you don't have to remember, and it's in case I forget to say anything. It's all right here. Excuse me. First, I'd like to start out back before and after all our services. We do have a bookstore that has a Science of Mind magazine. I know that I personally incorporated it into my spiritual practice. There's a daily reading, so I read that before I go into my meditation, but there's great articles, and it's just a way to take what we get here, but have it every day of the week in between our services. But there's great books. There's also photos that Ron Stover took from the second birthday party we had a few weeks ago. If you wanted any of those as prints yourself, there's order forms out back. Oh, there we go. Reverend Suzanne is holding them up briefly. Thank you, Vanna. We also have just a couple of t-shirts left out back, size medium and extra large. We are trying to move the inventory out, and since there's only a few now, they're collector's items. So don't all rush Stephanie out back after service, but we'll be having a whole new set when it comes to be our Sacred Journey, which is going to be in January. And we have a new goal for our Sacred Journey, which is going to be 150 members. We now have 118, so now we're looking at 150. And I think that's just a wonderful goal that's totally possible to be met. And what becoming a member really means is just making a commitment to yourself and to your spiritual practice and your spiritual community. And if that is something that it pulls at you, or you're interested in at least learning more, there are sheets out back to sign up, or you can always talk to the reverends or any one of us who have been members for a little while and just learn a little bit what that means. Today is a super special celebration. Founding member Lolita, I don't see her here today, but if you've come on a regular, you know Lolita. If you are new here, Lolita is a spark of light that is celebrating her birthday today. I believe she's celebrating 92. Yes, and she's throwing herself a party, and she is serious about having us all come.
That's why she's not here.
I had a feeling that she might be getting ready for her party. It's at 1 o'clock today, and the invitation truly is out to the whole community here. It's going to be at Sun Village, which is just behind the hospital, and it's actually in a big rec room. They have a huge area that's perfect for a party of many people. And she was also very clear with her intentions that we only bring ourselves and our love. There's no potluck. There's going to be poo-poos catered, and she doesn't want any lays, any cards, any gifts. She only wants us. So if you are wanting to attend and come, please feel free. It's just another way to have a social event, get to know each other, and then of course just celebrate Lolita. Next Sunday, which is August 9th, we have two different events taking place. Directly after service, we're going to have a community meeting. So everybody is invited to stay after service to have, it's almost like a meeting of the minds. Like, what are we wanting? What are we looking for with the future of CSL? Because we are going to need to find a new home. The Reverends have also provided a fact sheet out back so you can know a little bit more of what they're looking for. But we're looking for a new space, essentially, and then also what else we are wanting. So if you are a part of the community, if you are a member, even considering being a member, stay after service next week for that, and just kind of a a collaborative event because it is our community. It's Center for Spiritual Living here on Kauai is about all of us and what we all want. And then in the afternoon, next Sunday at 5 o'clock, down at Lakegate Park, over by the Heiau Sacred Side, where they have the big parking lot, we're going to be meeting there to do Sermon by the Sea, which is where we're going to do readings of Ernest Holmes, who's the founder and, kind of the founder, where the philosophy comes from for CSL. But we're also going to do, that is a potluck, so you will want to bring food for that, as Kauai style is. But we're going to stay and have drumming and have just a kind of a celebration after that. So that's 5 o'clock next Sunday down at Lakegate Park. And I believe I've got it all. Oh, actually, no, there is one thing. At the end of the month, and again, this is on the back of your program, we are going to be doing a Women in Consciousness event. It is also a social event that will be taking place at Sun Village. Apparently that's the party place on the island. And they've got this space and we've got some members who live there. But what we're doing is a kind of a social, it's a swap of anything that you're ready to let go of in regards to clothes, shoes, accessory. And then so we bring and then we take. We bring and then we take. And there's also swimming available. We're going to be doing that on Friday, the 28th. And that's going to be something that we'll keep announcing, but something to kind of keep in your mind, again, for another social event and celebration.
And the sign-up is in the back.
Okay, great. And there is a sign-up sheet in the back for that as well, so we kind of have an idea of how many people are going to come. Anyway, it's also going to be, if you want to swim, there's a pool and a hot tub, so it's kind of a multifaceted event. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great service.
She's wonderful, isn't she? Yes. She had her audition last week, and this week we said, how would you like to do it just for the rest of the history of the next 20 years of CSL Kauai? So right now we'd like to let the children, and it looks like we have some wonderful youth today that are going to go out with Janice here, who is our leader. And so we have two, we have Kiali, and then we have they're in the back there. So, wow, 5, Janice. I repeat, 5. Did I mention that we are growing? Yes. I'm just going to let you know before she takes them out that this is part of Rita and I, our daily visioning, because it is so important that the youth become empowered in this world that we're living in, because they are speaking for us after we have decided to go other journeying. They will be doing that. So I am so blessed that our youth is growing. So welcome, you guys. Okay, so we have a little song that we sing, do we not?
So it's like this, because you are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. You are walking as the light of God. And you just bless us as crazy.
And we have snacks and things for you at the door, so it's all good. So shall you? As the light, you are walking as the light of God. You are walking as the love, as the love. You are walking as the love of God. Okay, they're gone. Okay. There we go. Yeah. No. I know it's new to us. We'll get used to all of this. But I am not kidding, and I'm not joking when I say how valuable we have got to start remembering. We will remember how valuable our youth is. They have an opportunity to be trained in a power of light that can transform this planet, and it is up to us to make sure that that happens. So we are very pleased with that, and you're also in the light as well. So this is our time of meditation, so I'm going to invite up Donna Schumacher, and Rita, will you go ahead and light that? Yeah. So this is Donna Schumacher. She's going to take us into our meditation, and this is our time to just be. This is our time to just allow ourselves to just bathe in the moment. And we're also lighting the peace candle, which we have decided that we're not waiting for peace to happen, because peace starts with us, and then it happens from that place. So we light it every week for that remembrance. Thank you, Donna.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's get comfortable in our chairs. Take a deep breath. Hold it and let it out slowly. One more time. And another on your own. And I'd like to read this quote by Joel Goldsmith from his book, Practicing the Presence. Let us not seek the forms of God, but seek the allness of God. And in seeking the allness of God, we shall have all the forms necessary to our unfoldment. Let us not seek the forms of God, but seek the allness of God. And in seeking the allness of God, we shall have all the forms necessary to our unfoldment.
I am knowing right in this moment the beauty of the music that we have been resting with and the words that Donna has spoken. What I know is that right here and now we are on purpose, divine purpose. We have come here, individually perhaps, but we are a part of this wondrous thing called good. We are this thing called good. And this is what we celebrate today with the music, with the message, with the laughter, with all of these wondrous, wondrous things called feelings. We have brought them all into this room to celebrate, and this is what we do. As we move from this unborn moment to the next unborn moment, we know that it is absolutely divinely guided. As together in one consciousness with Mahalo just overflowing from our hearts, we say, and so it is. Here you go.
Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. In case you don't know where you are, first of all, I want to stop for a minute and introduce and thank Bryn quick. And Daniel Nelson, who's sitting over there, who are here to join us today in Jeremy and Amy's absence.
These are available as well, excuse me.
Okay, sorry.
These
Come
four.
on.
If there's a chair next to you, just go like this.
There's
four
up
in the
here.
front.
One chair here, two over there,
Oh, yeah.
one there.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah.
perfect.
So anyway, I'm just seeing so many familiar faces that I see around the island, and now all of a sudden they're here, and it's really a nice experience to look out and see your faces. Thank you for joining us today. And for those of you that don't know what Center for Spiritual Living is, Center for Spiritual Living is an organization that's part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, which used to be called Religious Science. It is still Religious Science because that's what we practice, the science of mind and spirit. It used to be called the Church of Religious Science. They thought Center for Spiritual Living was an easier name to take, so we changed our name when our two groups came together. But anyway, we practice the science of mind and spirit, which just says that the divine, that presence, that source, that allness, sources through and expresses through each one of us individually in all its magnificence. And that when we live our lives, the more we can live our lives from that place and that recognition of ourselves and of others, the more we're going to have such blessed lives and bless the lives of others. And that's the simplicity of this teaching. And then we go out and we try to practice it. That's the thing. No matter what's happening, we practice it. We try to practice it to the best of our abilities from wherever we are, and knowing that every day is getting better and better and better. So, by the way, I'm Reverend Rita, in case you didn't know. I forgot to introduce myself.
And I forgot to introduce you as well. It was all about me at that beginning of the show.
Yeah. So welcome. So
Yeah, we had Daniel and
I introduced them
great.
already. You were
While I was seating.
you were seeing
Yeah.
people. If I can introduce them again.
Never enough because
Yeah.
of these two who we just absolutely love. Who is here for the very, very, very first time? I know who you are, so do not pretend like you're not going to raise your hand.
Presents.
We have presents. There we go. Go over here.
Hi,
Very
ladies.
first time. Very good.
Yeah. Is
Uh-huh.
there somebody in the back that's here for the first time? Yeah?
Yes, yes.
All right. Yay.
It's very important. Very important to acknowledge oneself when you're here for the very first time. And I see a lot of this, and this is lovely because that's what you're going to have to continue to do. Because we started the air conditioning, last night, and this is what we got. So go ahead. It doesn't bother me. It just makes me feel like we're just family and we're in Kauai. So you're here for the first time. And what's important about that is that we did some research and found out something about you that we'd like to share with everyone. Does that make you at all nervous? No. But what did we find out about these new people here? What did we find out? You are magnificent! But you probably already knew that, right? So, but we're here just to remind you. But see, the great thing about that is that, do you notice when you mention you're magnificent, it just brings joy all through your being? Just think if you walked through every moment of your life remembering your magnificence. What that would be one magnificent meeting another. So let's all say it together, shall we? I am magnificent. Now look to your left or right or whoever you want behind you and tell them they're magnificent. Just take a moment about that. You're magnificent. You're magnificent. Good. Okay. So I think we have the magnificent part almost down. There we go. As our mentor used to always say, back to me. And yes, but you are magnificent. It's lovely to remember that. Boy, it's like a pate today. I just love that. So I think, speaking of party, I think it's time for us to have a little opening song. And I was told about the programs. We're out of them, which is a good thing because that just means we'll be making more. And so just for the songs, we can look on with one another. It's all yours, my brother. Come over here.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My name is Daniel. I know many of you already, which is really beautiful. And do you usually have them stand for this? Would you stand if you're able? This first song that we'd love to sing together is called Way of the Heart. Many of you may already know it. It's a song that's been around for quite a while. I learned it through the Singing Alive community. And I would love to have you just echo the words back to me at the beginning. It's a very simple chant, and then you don't have to look and read your programs if you don't want to. Let the way of the heart. 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 Let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light. Light upon light upon light. Shining as bright as the sun. Shining as bright as the sun. Did anyone notice the Hawaiian word of the day out front in the lobby?
Happy Sunday.
It was happy sun. Hau'oli la. Hau'oli la. Hau'oli la. Hau'oli la. Light upon light. So here we go. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love, all hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love. Love upon love upon love, all hearts are beating as one. Light, light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love, love upon love upon love, all hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. One more time, a little softer. Let the way the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through.
Thank you.
Wow. Who needs coffee? Thank you. Our morning cup of Java, spiritual Java, is beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, so it's with a heavy heart that I introduce the next two people, but I'm joyous heavy heart. Roxanne and Robert McDougall are leaving us to move and start a new adventure in North Carolina, and this is their last Sunday here. And I know they'll be back to visit at some point. How can you not be? But they're starting a new adventure, and it's really amazing to have watched them go through this and to see them letting go and all of that. They are amazing. They're founding members of Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, so they're very special to us as they started the center with us. So I'm introducing them to come up and get the forms.
Yes.
And they're going to talk a little bit to us. We put them in the light today to just share their experience with us. And so, yeah.
You want to use mics, or would you prefer not?
I can be loud.
Okay. Robert, do you want a mic or not?
I guess we can't come next Sunday, but we're leaving in a week and a half, so maybe we could come back, but we're still doing to-do lists like crazy. So we know a lot of you, we know some of you by face and some of you not at all. So just briefly, we've lived here 22 years. We've been in our house 20 years. And we're getting to the ages of still being fit and healthy, but sooner or later, maybe not so. And we finally realized in February it was time to sell the house. And then a whole series of decisions or pulls came from that, totally unexpected. I was the one who said she would never leave Kauai and certainly never live in the South. And I'm from Atlanta. Yeah, I'm from Atlanta, so all those judgments. We had been attracted to Asheville because it's a very conscious place. It's often likened to Kauai in a lot of ways. It's really beautiful, it's not big, there's a lot of diversity there. So we went and checked it out in March and said, yeah, this is an area we'd like to try. His son lives in South Carolina. My family's still in Atlanta. So there was that part of it, too. So that's just the synopsis. And for We're in the Light, I just want to share a lesson that I've learned, because there's so much I could say. And if you caught me on a bad day, you wouldn't want to hear it, because it's been so hot and it's been huge. Here's the lessons. Don't live in a house for 20 years. At least pretend you're moving every 5 years. Right? Something. I mean, oh my Lord, what we have. I open a drawer, I open a closet, and it's like there's more stuff. So that's been part of the process for us. Robert's trying to keep me from going there, so I won't go there too much. But it's been part of the process. I mean, if this was ever anything that's multidimensional, it is certainly this process of change and knowing a lot more about what we're leaving than what we're going to, and still having the call. And I likened it to how we felt when we decided to move to Kauai from Maryland. Even though we had been here a couple of times, it was that same sort of almost irrational going to another state. We're just going to go. We left our house unsold there. We're leaving our house. It's just being listed now, and we're trusting this market is really hot. And we still have a vision for that and so forth. So what I want to share with you is, those of you that know me know for 25 years I've been a consultant and a coach and given a lot of talks and been a teacher of law of attraction. I got involved with religious science back in Colorado in the 80s at the Mile High Church. I carted my textbook around for all those years until this wonderful people came and gave me a CSL to go to. There's a wonderful CSL in Nashville that we've already connected with. So intellectually, I know about the power of thought. I know that we create. I know that we, as Martin Helm says, fling that thought into that divine mind, and it always says yes. So be careful what you're asking for. And yet, I was able to be pulled so much out of it through this process with the heat as well. I feel like I've been sweating for 3 months. A woman we know in Nashville just wrote and said, well, tell me what you're looking for in a house. So I sent her an email, and I made a list, right? And then I went on and did other things. And I had lunch with her sister the other day, who lives here part-time. And she said, boy, you've really convinced Suzanne about these teachings. And I said, oh, she said, yeah, that list you sent her, and look what happened. So I had to go back. Well, this is what happened. Finally, a couple of weeks ago now, at least I had, and I think Robert had, just gotten to this place of just finally just letting go. Rental house wasn't showing up. We decided to rent. Prices were higher than we expected. We just didn't know. We didn't know if we should leave ahead of time or wait till the house sold. We kind of decided to wait till the house sold. It's what I had to do. I had to just let go and at least clean the slate of any of the negative energy I was holding that was going to keep that house away, right? But it wasn't like, oh, I think I'm going to get in balance so my house will show up. It happened. Well, the very next morning, 7 a.m., I checked my email, and I put an ad in Craigslist in Asheville, professional rental, retiree seeking rental house, and they don't have a good category for that. It got buried, hardly had any responses. It was all about people selling houses. Well, somebody found it, just quote, happened to find it, and we just happened to really click, and they just happened to have a place that just resonated for us because we were kind of quirky and we like quirky houses. So to make a very long story short, that day we went ahead and agreed to rent a restored 1940s dairy barn that is just beautiful. It has a silo next to it. It's on 3 acres. It's in the country but close to Asheville. Has a stream going through the property. The woman and I, we're both from Georgia. It goes on and on, those kind of wonderful non-coincidences that can happen. And then the other premise with this is the better it gets, because once we get that energy going, right? So I got to see that again, even though my mind knew it, because I was so happy and excited by what was happening that early in the morning that I said, okay, I'm going to go and make our plane reservation. So I got his, boom, boom, boom. I wanted extra legroom for him. There were 3 seats left. He got one. I had accumulated 120,000 air miles on United that we just hadn't been able to use, and they'd raised the minimum to 90,000 for the easier to get seats. So I got on the phone on that day with this lovely young woman in the Philippines, and she kept coming up with these 4 stops kind of things. And we're used to going, how long it takes to get there. And I finally said, this is what I want. I want to fly from Lihue to LA. I want to fly from LA to either Chicago, Dulles, or Newark, and I want to fly from there to Asheville. She got it. So, oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. That'll be 45,000 miles, not 90, And then I got the extra leg room and everything worked out. And the last thing I do want to share, and then I'll shut up because Robert gets a turn, is that it's even the things where I can trust that there's a higher good working. Because I thought I was going to schlep my 15-pound cat with me. We're taking 2 dogs. They're going to go with a pet travel service. And I found out she couldn't fly from Hawaii to the mainland. And it didn't make sense to try to pick her up in cargo in LA. And I went, I didn't really want to be carrying her around. I'm already going to have a lot of stuff. It's like, oh, good, yes. And she's going to go with the dogs in her own little crate, be treated like royalty by the Island Pet Movers guys, and all of that resolved. So I think I haven't really tuned in. I got kind of teary-eyed when you were just talking. I haven't let myself, because I just can't yet. I've still got a to-do list this long, but we're going to miss this, and we're going to miss you. And this is a hui-ho, because I know we'll be back. And it's just been wonderful. And you guys have a great thing here. The church there is 25 years old, the CSL, big sanctuary, school buildings. And I know we'll be coming back to visit and watching this church grow, be in a new facility the next time we come. It's pretty great. So, thank you.
There's not a whole lot I can add to that. We have been practicing the principles of choosing consciously what we want, and then going through the roller coaster ride of doubt and fear, and coming out the other side. I had a very, very nice example of the other day. A friend of mine I hadn't seen in a while, Art Brownstein, lives up on the North Shore. And I said, I sure want to see Art Brownstein. Well, I go into Hoku, and there's his wife. And I said, well, I talked to her. She said, "Well, Art's in the car." So I go out, and there's Art Brownstein. I have not, except when we scheduled a time together, seen him in Kauai in the years that I've been here. So it was just a fleeting thought that went into the heart and connected up. And one thing other that I keep coming back to is gratitude, and this is the wristband that I wore when my son was going through leukemia, and he survived. And just this past week, his tennis team, he plays near the top level, like 5-0 or 5-5. He's 45, and he was playing against 24-year-olds, and they won the national championship. So I'm really grateful for him and for his blessing of being given a re-gift of life. And I'm grateful
And
for
he'll
all
be
of
2
you.
hours away from where we live.
Yes.
That's how we do things here. We just, wow, what a family.
Wow. We have a little treat after to just share with them before they leave. So I know we're all going to Lolita's party, but that's not till 1. So we just have a few little treats in the back to just, say goodbye to them. But ahui ho, definitely. And you always have a home here with us.
Yes.
Always, always, always. And thank you for that knowing of coming back to a facility and a growing center. So grateful. So, that gratitude in my heart, I have more gratitude to introduce Daniel Nelson up here to sing for us, something that I have been just looking forward to since I heard that you sang. So thank you for doing that. And Vern, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
This song comes from the beautiful woman goddess, Shauna Carroll, who many of you know, who lives up in the mountains over here of Kaua'i. And it's called Thanksgiving. It's about giving gratitude. And not Thanksgiving as in we gather with lots of people and eat tons of food on Thanksgiving Day, but Thanksgiving for the harvest of our family and our friends, for our children, for the lives that we live, for the miracle of our own birth. Wrong song? We'll do that song in a moment.
We're live, by the way.
On this day of Thanksgiving, let a prayer be heard. Let us join our hands together and say a sacred word, and let us gaze in the eyes of the dear ones that we love, and sing a song of praise to the sky above, as we give thanks for the harvest of our family and our friends, for children growing older, for generations without end. And we give thanks for each moment that we walk upon this earth. And so this day we recognize the blessing of our birth. On this day of Thanksgiving, we remember the gifts past from the first Hawaiian nation into our hands so freely cast. And may we find a way together to walk on common ground, a many-colored people, all moving to the sound of giving. Thanks for the harvest of our family and our friends, for children growing older, for generations without end. And we give thanks for each moment that we walk upon the earth. And so this day we recognize the blessing of our birth. And so this day we recognize the blessing of our birth.
Oh, it was even more beautiful than I expected. Thank you. It was very beautiful. You're so special. Thank you. So, I want to just sit in that gratitude as I go and launch into my little message today, which is really good. I want to tell you a story first. It's going to kind of go away from this. I'm going to start with the story because there was a man, and I'll tell you where I heard the story later. There was a man who had a sports car, and he took it out for a ride, and he was riding very fast on these country roads, just really enjoying the curves of the road and just really having a great time, probably in gratitude for that sports car. And then all of a sudden from the other direction came a woman. She was like careening totally out of control. She was just like coming around the curve, right? And he's like, oh my God. And then she got control of her car, and just as she was passing him, she screamed out, "Pig! Pig!" And he's like, "Sow!" And he starts screaming words to her. Well, guess what happened? He came around the corner and ran right into a pig. Now, I heard this story in a film that was put out by a man named Joel Barker, who is a futurist. And he follows the work of another person called, author and scientific man called Thomas Kuhn. And this is an amazing film if you ever can get your hands on it. But actually, Joel Barker's all over the internet talking about this. And the thing that they talk about is the idea of paradigms. That was a paradigm story, right? The guy had an idea when somebody screams pig to him that it just meant that he was cussing out at her, right? So if you don't know what a paradigm is like a set of boundaries and established limits that you've put around yourself. And it's the way you perceive the world. We all have paradigms. We can't help it. We just do. We're doing boot camp this week. We're doing beliefs. And I think a paradigm is like a belief that you have about the world, and then you see through that lens, and you filter out anything that goes against what you believe or what your paradigm is. So something could be sitting there right in front of you saying something just the opposite of your paradigm, and you wouldn't see it because it's your paradigm. They do a trick in the film where they show cards and they keep passing the cards over, and there's like a red spade card, and nobody sees the red spade card most of the time because they're used to seeing a spade being black, right, on a deck of cards. So it's about that. So it gives you like a set of rules that you can say, okay, I have these rules, and this is the way I solve this problem, right? But one of the things they talk about is how paradigm paralysis can just like kill new ideas. They call it paradigm paralysis, which means that you can't even move out of your paradigm at all. So all the great inventions of the world, and Thomas Kuhn's book, which I haven't read yet, but his is all about scientific, but Joel Barker takes it out of that into business and inspires business people to think outside their paradigms in order for shift to occur, because the only way shift can occur is if people like think outside their paradigms. And he gives like this little example of somebody, like you solve a problem and you go, oh, I didn't know I could do it that way. And then all of a sudden you're going into a new paradigm, and then you start to use that to solve to keep solving the problem, and then pretty soon, and what he says is the problem starts to get bigger and bigger, and then pretty soon you can't do it anymore because you need a new paradigm, and you're still stuck with the old. So it's just a constant like being rebirthed into a new idea, which is like what we talk about in this philosophy, that we want to like think a new way, but what we do instead sometimes is just continue to tell our old story, and we think that's the way things are, or we look out at our life and we think that's the way things are. I say that over and over. We're just like looking and we're just seeing that, and we're not thinking from a higher place. So we can't make changes in our lives because we just keep continuing to tell the same story and to look at the thing the same way. And what we give in our philosophy is to step back and think from a higher place. Like I said at the beginning when I described the science of mind, it's all about, the first thing is to remember who you are. And if you can remember that and make that commune with spirit and spend your practice, your spiritual practice, opening up to that infinite wisdom, that infinite idea, that divine space, then you're going to start thinking that way, and your problems aren't going to look the same to you. The world's not going to look the same because you're going to have a new paradigm, because you're going to be looking through new ideas. So we're studying Thomas Troward right now, the philosopher, the judge, Thomas Troward. He can be very dry, but he talks about the new, like a spiritual prototype, to get a spiritual prototype for something. Like Robert and Roxanne did. They had a spiritual prototype they started to create for their move. They started to ask for what they wanted and saw that happening. And what it does is it forms a nucleus, and I guess this is proven in science. It forms a nucleus that starts to vibrate and starts to attract everything to it that fits that idea. It can't help it. So Emma Curtis Hopkins tells us we think we're like reporters, right? We keep reporting our story over and over and over again, but we're really creators. Because the more we're putting that story out into the universe, the more the energy's coming back to give us exactly what we want. I mean, what we don't, well, what we're saying in the universe that we do want, because we're telling the universe that. So my thing is, like, wake up in the morning and say, I know nothing. What can I know? What can I know about this day that's different? Is it just going to be the same day as yesterday if it wasn't a day you liked very much? Or can I wake up and say, what can I know that's different today? And to trust that and do it in little increments. If you can't do it all at once, just do it in little increments, one little step at a time, to trust your day. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world where every time I see somebody coming at me, I think it's a threat. I want to know that there's opportunities and there's newness in every day. And I believe that until my consciousness is aligned totally with truth and beauty and love, that I won't get to that space. So I have to practice it every single solitary day. We had an interesting experience last night. We have cats. We've joined the cat world. And Molly and Brian know what I'm talking about. There's 2 cats that live on our lanai. They're supposedly feral cats. I think we've talked about them before. Kama and Kalani. And they're mother and daughter. And Kama has some issues. She has some emotional issues. And she doesn't like her mother very much. She practices senior abuse sometimes. Anyway, Kama has some issues, but we love her. We love her so much, and we love Kalani too. And what happens to us is we start to interfere, with what they're doing, and start to get in the way of nature, and where we just have to really do our best to just let it be and let them do their thing. I mean, she's not hurting her or anything, but we don't like the way she treats her. Anyway, so last night we were back in the bedroom, and I heard a noise, and we came out into the living room, and all of a sudden, Kama was in the living room. Now, we were like, how did she get in? Did we leave the door open? What happened? What happened? Well, she had broken down the screen, okay, and clawed her way into the living room. She's not allowed in the house. She had like clawed her way through the screen. Well, so I write to the people that we're renting from, and I tell them what happened. I tried to use some humor about it, and I would try to fix the screen and everything. And he said this interesting thing to me. He said, you know what, stop paying so much attention to her, you know, kind of love her less, and pay more attention to Kaua'i and ignore her for a while. And I thought, I can't do that. I can't love her less. But I think that's sometimes what we do. I got what he was saying, and I understood what he was saying. But I think that's sometimes the way we handle life. We like think like when somebody does something that if we love them less or you know discipline them or whatever that we're gonna fix the problem. But we can't ever give anyone too much love. That's a new paradigm right there. Like when we deal with this stuff with the GMOs and all this stuff that we're dealing with on this earth, the ocean and all this stuff, if we don't pour love over it, we're never going to solve these problems. We haven't solved them the other way yet. So I think we can do that. So that's my message for today, is to just wake up in the morning and just look at everything new and try to see what your beliefs are and what your paradigms are and say, are they serving me, these paradigms? I mean, some paradigms are going to serve us. But if we want something new in our life, we got to let go of the old kind of beliefs that we've been playing over and over and over again to have a new life and to start right where we are. So I love you. Thank you for being here today. And I want to turn the time over to my husband. Namaste.
Doesn't she look beautiful today, by the way? I just have to say. It always makes me nervous when someone says, I'm going to tell about what happened last night, and you're like going, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? But I always trust that we're always on the same page, and you never know what kind of business we're going to just let go of here, because we are family. So tonight, I'm already in the night. Today we're talking about being open at the top. Our philosophy is known for that. It's that idea of being open at the top, not putting a lid on something. And this has come up a lot for me this week, and this is the question I've been asking myself. Am I willing to believe something new? Am I willing to believe something new? And that doesn't mean that our lives are not working just because we want to believe something new. I was thinking of this whole idea. Two metaphors came to me. One was like a jar, and you get this great idea, and it's open, and you're filling up, and then you get scared, or you get doubtful, or you listen to race consciousness, which is the collective consciousness of where we're at, and then you put the lid on it. And sometimes we put the lid so tight. Have you ever tried to get a lid off that, you're banging it, and that's what we do in our lives sometimes, right? We're banging our heads and making it so difficult because we got scared for a minute. But I had another metaphor that excited me because, I always let my inner child play when it's necessary. And I had this idea of a genie in a bottle. And I'm thinking how this genie in a bottle is like. And I even had a wonderful thing what they said about this whole idea of the old Arabian stories. A genie was a magic spirit that would do whatever the person controlled it wanted. I could work with that for just a moment. And I thought, yeah, but you see, this thing that's inside of the bottle is that law that we talk about a lot that says yes. And if we contain ourselves in this lamp, this genie lamp, and keep containing it and not letting it open and come out and say, I can do anything, and it always says yes. That's the difficult part sometimes of this philosophy, to remember that there is nothing that says no except for us. How much can you accept? As much as you're willing to accept. It really is that simple. And I thought of this idea of the genie in the bottle because it's like, you let it out and this being says, you get 3 wishes, right? Once again, this philosophy doesn't deal with that kind of limitation. You don't get just 3. Because if you did, it would just confuse you anyway. That's why everyone's always so confused when they get the 3 wishes. They're like, I don't know. And and the genie's sitting there waiting. It's like, whatever. And so what it is that in this philosophy, we have a power that lives within us, as us. It was our wonderful gift that we came here with, and it gets to say yes. I want this, yes. Are you willing to believe something new? Yes, and Rita's absolutely was perfect with the paradigms, because as long as we keep telling ourselves something isn't working, that's exactly what we're going to get. And so I love this idea of what Rita was talking about, this cat. I actually wrote about it this morning. It was kind of a bizarre feeling, because when I saw the cat again, I wanted to say yes, and then I still heard that voice that said, well, maybe you should love him a little less, and maybe you're causing, dysfunction. I'm thinking, oh my God. First of all, the 2 things I said I was not, because I was raised with dogs, the 2 things I said would never happen to me when I moved to Kauai was chickens, roosters, and, cats, because I never had cats around. Well, the 2 things have been a part of my life so fully. And so my genie has said yes. My genie, my inward law of my being has said yes. And I looked at this little cat and I went, I could tell she was very, very disturbed because of the idea that she had done that last night. There's that energy around that when things happen. And all that really happened was that we got scared. We didn't know what to do. It was a new paradigm for us as well. And so she kind of gave that look, like, I know, you're mad. You're mad at me, I can just feel it, Look at the words we put to them. We have not an idea in the world what they're really thinking. Like she goes, I think that she's embarrassed. We get embarrassed and we do that. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, don't stop loving. It is, right there, did you see the lid start to go on? We started going, oh no, put a lid on it. You're loving a little too much here, man. This cat's going to take over your life, man. You got it, which they do try to own you. But they do try to own you. And I'm going, no they don't, but they do. So they own us because this makes the second talk that we've done on them. And so therefore, I will say to you, they own me at this particular moment. But I have freedom of choice. So I will change all of this to some degree. I will learn how to balance it. Ernest Holmes says, if it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, then it should be our privilege to accept the gift. I'm going to read that again because that's really the message that I had. If it's God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, which means the kingdom of our own dominion over our wondrous beings and our wondrous world, then it should be our privilege to accept it. It's that simple. And we'll probably be here every week just reminding you how simple this is. You've proven it to yourselves over and over again that this principle works. You've sat here, you've had experiences, and you've been right here to be able to say, not Centers for Spiritual Living works, but that part of me, that thing that is contained inside of me, that thing called love. Love moves all things. It moves mountains, and it moves screen doors. If that was the loving force that had to get into that house to get more of this love, then it was a lesson for me. For me to know that love will move past anything. It will move past anything that needs to be done for our crops, and to get rid of pesticides, and to get rid of discrimination, and to get rid of all of those things. Love is the only answer. I was just in a debate about this week, and I'm not going back. I'm an activist for good. I'm an activist as a power for love, and it has moved it. We haven't tried it 100%. We tried to love. We went out, I love you, and they didn't love us back, so we went, see, I knew it wasn't going to work. This is love. And we stopped loving because I stopped loving at times because I didn't get to be right. I found out, this is a real alert. When you love, it's unconditioned. It has no condition on it. None. It just means I'm going to love you. And I'm going to give everything. And if you don't want it, that's fine too. And I may not stay for dinner. Because there's nothing more uncomfortable to be with somebody that's going, I don't want to be with you. But here's the deal. Love. Love will change anything that we want on this island. We have got to be daring enough. We have to be daring enough to say, I will love my way through this. War has never worked. It was a temporary bandage that was put on something, and we're right back to where we were before. And as ministers, we're not supposed to talk politics. And I'm being filmed. Let's talk about the cats again, shall we? I'm being very, very, very from the very depth of my heart. And thank you for this beautiful music that has reminded us. We are here to love. And someone says, what does that look like, Patrick? What does that look like? You can't just love. These things are going on. Yes, I can. I love you until you understand that you're damaging something. I love you until you understand whatever it is, because I just know that people that are in pain do a lot of horrible things. People have paradigms that need to be shifted, and it can't be shifted by me meeting hate with hate. It will never, ever work. And you can try it, and we can talk about it some more. We'll even have lunch about it. But let me tell you, it's not going to happen. It is about love. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to try it, but it's not easy. I wake up too. I wake up in the morning going, ooh, but this is it. So let's say it again. If it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, then it should be our privilege to accept the gift. Can you just say with me, I accept?
I accept.
Yeah. I love you. Love you. Oh, what a day this has been.
He was back talking baby talk to the cats this morning.
Can we have anything that is sacred by love? And I wasn't baby talking, I was just saying, baby talk, you'll back up head.
And who loves you? I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Do you feel better now? I've done a real
I love you.
We'll be talking in the car.
Okay, that was the cabaret version of, Okay, so.
Let's have some affirmative giving, shall
Okay,
we?
so this is our time of affirmative giving. We thank you in advance for the gifts that you give us and the amazing generosity of spirit and love in this room at all times. And as Patrick said, it's a giving of consciousness too. So as this basket passes you, just put your hand over it of that amazing consciousness that you have that allows this center to just go forward and prosper this island. As I said, we give out what you give us. So just thank you from the bottom of our hearts to help this all go forward. And we're going to invite Daniel back up. Oh, there he is. To lead us in a gratitude song or a beautiful love song. One or the other.
Hi. It is so sweet that is how Patrick ended, because this title of this song is Channel for Love. And every single person in this room is one of the ways that love comes into this world. Every single person channels love into this world. And the words are simply that. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. And one of the ways that we channel love is into the basket. And then it goes, so we'll start out lyrical with this, and you'll pick it up really, really easily and quickly, and then it lifts a little bit, and then we get into a more funky section where we claim, I am a channel for love, channel, I love, let it out, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow through me. You'll see what I mean. I am a channel. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me. I am a channel for love. Let it flow through me.
Beautiful, I love that. So what I know right now is that we are each a channel for love. Oh my God, we are that channel for love, and we let it flow through us in every single solitary moment. And I'm grateful for the channel of love that has flowed into this basket. Ooh, my hands are going. Those Italian hands are going. It's all right. I give gratitude for it. I know it goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless not just the center, but the island of Kauai and the world. So with that gratitude in my heart for each and every person in this room, I just let my word go into law as we say together, and so it is.
Now, we have our children just came in.
The children came in. Do you have something to say to us?
Oh, well, they just wanted to show their beautiful.
All right, have them come up.
Yeah.
Go around that way, all right, so that you can. We want to. Here they come. Oh.
There's some love channeling, right?
I know, they're
Yes.
so beautiful.
Uh-oh.
You're just going to show us, or do you have something to say too? No? Nothing to say? Okay. Janice, what did they do today? Oh.
I made a peace plane.
Oh, sweet. A peace plane. Let's see
Peace
it.
plane. Yay.
Wow.
Can we hold it up really high so they can see?
The only peace plane.
I made a peace rainbow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Rainbow. And what did you make?
I made a rainbow.
for sharing your beautiful artwork with us. Thank you, and thank you, Janice, very much. Thank you. Mahalo, mahalo. All right, you can go find your mama and daddy. All right, so first I'll start my thank yous there. Thank you very much to Janice for taking our youth. It's a special calling, and she's got it, and we appreciate the fact that she's here doing that and giving her love to our children. Thank you so much, Janice. And thank you to Deborah. You were at the door, right? And who was at the door with you? Reverend Suzanne. How could I forget? Where are you, Reverend Suzanne? Thank you for being at the door and for everything else that you've done here today. And yeah, and Ron. Oh, Ron was there too. All right, thank you. There's so much help and love here. It's just like, I'm telling you, I just watch you all back there taking care of each other, and it's amazing. So, and Michelle LeMay, you just continue to do an awesome job with the announcements. It's so nice to have you do it. I cannot. Yeah. And Donna, thank you for doing the meditation. It was perfect. And we really want more of this. It's really good that we're all participating like this. It's great. And Stephanie is volunteered in the bookstore. Thank you for that, Stephanie. And I want to thank everybody that came early to help us set up. And Kelly, first of all. Kelly, I don't know what to say to you anymore. Who met us at the car. He already had the thing sitting there. He was here before we are. Thank you so much, Kelly. And yeah. And let's see, who else? Rob. Thank you for doing this. Yeah, oh my God. Rob is doing our live streaming. He took it over, and it's been rather of a challenge, but he met everything with just perfect consciousness, and it's good. Thank you for doing that. And he'll be teaching some of the others of us that want to learn, so that more than one person knows. I think that's really when the black magic box arrives. Yeah,
and we'll be in the back, and this will be free too.
Yeah, and so, and Roseanne, thank you for doing the program, and thank you, Lawyer, for the flowers. Thank you, so much goodness. And now you two, thank you so much for being with us today. The music was just exquisite, and it just really filled our hearts. Thank you so much. And they're going to be back next week, too, so you get more of them. That's really awesome. Yeah, and thank you for the new songs. They were great songs. I love the Channel for Love song. That was just beautiful, and just thank you for it all. Thank you.
And I just...
What?
At the park next week, yeah?
No, we're here.
We're here.
Yeah, here. Unless you know something we don't know.
Let me just run one thing over. I know we weren't going to add more announcements, but I think it's important that next Sunday we're here, then afterwards is a meeting. This meeting is not only about space and new things and growing as we are and getting to the next step, as it were, but it's also an opportunity to go over some of the volunteer opportunities here, because the one thing I've learned being a volunteer coordinator in my past, and Rita as well, is that it's beautiful that somebody does, like, for instance, Loya, the flowers, thank you, but, after a while, we have to share that in our family, and share the greeting, and share the bookstore, and share, and get help, which would be wonderful. Get help for Janice, which would be great for our 30 kids. It's amazing. So anyway, and so that's just what's going to be happening next week as well. And I know that everybody comes and goes on this island, but I also want to put my heart right here. I know she's coming back, but our beautiful Jeanette back here that has been just this quiet, wonderful, powerful force of being for us, and you have given us such stayed in such consciousness for us since you've been here, and mahalo to you. We will see you soon.
Welcome you back soon. Yes.
Mahalo to you.
Thank you. We love you. And Roxanne and Robert, we love you, and thank you for sharing yourself with us over these 2 years, and just for everything you've done, and more and more and more. And as I said before, you have a home here. Always.
And we're going to get into a circle and stop all that, but I do want to welcome my beautiful Papa Joe, who's back here today. And Papa Joe, we are here for you. We love you. You're home with your family. Your family's here for you. And Maureen walking in here, girl.
Yeah.
Maureen escaped from Wilcox, and she got herself walked and dressed in here, and you would have never have known it. And you're just an absolute inspiration and for us as well.
Yeah.
So thank you, Maureen.
I also want to welcome those two back. It's too much. I could keep going forever. Joel and Reverend Ruth Ann. Yay! They're back from Palm Desert. They come every year. So thank you.
So there you go.
Yeah. So it's good. All right.
So let's circle and do our closing song, shall we? This is good.
Yay, wow, look at this room. All right, so shoulder to shoulder, squeeze together. This is a beautiful, beautiful gathering. And I just want to mention something that was spoken to me when I first arrived and was greeting people. That this song is called Angels. And there are many angels, not just unseen, but also seen here right in this room. And one of them is Kelly, who told me that he came into this space before anyone arrived, just to bring beautiful, blessed energy into this room. There's an angel right there that prepared space for this gathering. So let me just have you echo the words back to me. Angels are all around us.
Angels are all around us.
Angels, feel them open your heart.
Angels, feel them open your heart.
Listen to the chorus.
Listen to the chorus.
Joining our voices and singing us home.
Joining our voices and singing us home.
And then the second verse is love is all around us.
Love is all around us.
Love, feel it soften your heart.
Love, feel it soften your heart.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Joining our spirits and bringing us home. Joining our spirits and bringing us home.
Joining our spirits and bringing us home.
Now this is a jazzy song, and in between those verses, there's a do, 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 do. So please join in on that if you feel moved to as well, other than just the angels and the love part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes the do-do-do-do. Angels! Angels are all around us. Angels, feel them open your heart. Listen to the chorus. Joining our voices and singing us home. Singing us home. Do-do, do-do-do-do. Ah! Love is all around us. Love, feel it soften your heart. Listen to the heartbeat. Joining our spirits and bringing us home. Bringing us home. Do-do, do-do-do-do. Ah,
So what I know right here and right now with this amazing beat underneath me is that there are angels all around us. I'm grateful to know that there are angels seen and unseen all around us, supporting us, loving through us. I give gratitude for that. And I know we take this angel power out into the world, and we use it. We become angels for others. We accept others being angels for us. It's a perfect acceptance, giving and receiving as we go from here and take this beautiful day, this beautiful community with us out into our lives, out into our world, and live it. That I know, that I claim, and I know good for everyone here. So I'm just grateful to know it, and I just release my word. I release it as law, as we say together. And so it is.
Angels, angels are all around us. Angels, feel them, open your heart. Listen to the chorus, joining our voices and singing us home, singing us home, singing us home, singing us home, singing us home. Angels,
We should start downloading it now. And then that way we won't stop.
Where are you?
You know how to do it?
They want
Look what you did.
Oh, okay. Picture there and then. Exactly.
Also having saved here and on Wall Street.
Right.
So
Oh, Wall Street.
I guess that's too much of a generalization, so I will take, that's a fair enough, I will take that.
Still recording? No. You know what, I'm going to take it out. So that nobody trips on it. Want to do it? Alright. Lots of what I heard us all.
When you get your Black Sox today, I want to be one of them again.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.